All right. Can you believe this is week 4? Crazy. So today and Thursday, we're going to be talking about breath and how breathing efficiently actually enhances longevity. I mean, obviously, if you're breathing well, then your body is getting the oxygen it needs. But in order to breathe well, you have to be in a good position, right? So, the body position is going to facilitate good breathing. And then how you breathe is going to facilitate better or worse breathing. It just depends. So let's just talk about that really briefly. If you're sitting like this, I invite you to do that. Now, are you able to admit that you sit like this sometimes? I know, right? In spite of our best efforts, we end up here sometimes. Cell phone, So let's just try and take a full deep breath here. Yeah, you can feel it's restricted. So let's sit up really tall. And the cues that you'll hear me saying again and again are lift your heart, lift your crown, right? So if we sit here and lift our heart and lift our crown and we try and take a deep breath, you see how it almost feels like it fills your entire trunk, right? When you're here, it feels like, ugh, I can only get it this far. So what this enables you to do is it enables your diaphragm to fully move through its range. So when you take an inhale, the diaphragm is a muscle and is basically flattening. And then when you exhale, it rises back up. It's sort of like a parachute with 2 domes. So you're inhaling and it flattens. You're exhaling and it relaxes and rises. So when when your breath is like it's moving the diaphragm up and down, if your diaphragm can't move, obviously your breath is going to be restricted. It's not going to be free flowing. And when your breath is restricted, then sometimes other muscles that are not the diaphragm, your diaphragm is your main muscle of respiration, but you can get your sternocleidomastoid muscles or other like scalene muscles are trying to literally lift the thorax so you can take a fuller breath. And you often cannot get the breath all the way down to the bottom of the lungs or to fully fill the lungs and occupy the space in the lungs where the gaseous exchange happens. You're pulling in oxygen and that is given off to carbon dioxide gets released, oxygen gets taken up, and then that goes out in your arterial blood. So for that to happen well, you need to be in a position so you can breathe well. So this is why, when we're in asana, we want to look at where our head is, right? Because if we're in postures where we're looking down the body, we're going to be doing that thing where we limit our breathing. The more we're, lifting the heart and the crown, the more space, if you want to call it that, or the more the lungs can fill and the diaphragm can do its movement. So, and then that means that your blood is getting oxygen, your body is getting the energy it needs, your brain needs a lot of oxygen, and so your brain is functioning better. And a lot of people, I've seen some research, I don't know how reliable it is because they always end in the conclusion more research needs to be done, but they look at, the health of your skin even. If you breathe better, your skin is healthier. So there's all kinds of chronic neck and shoulder pain that people have because of their restricted breathing. So even just, having better posture is good just in and of itself, but it also allows you to breathe better. It usually keeps you out of some of these chronic pain conditions that people have, and that kind of gets cemented in the body over time. So another thing to know about the breath is that it is the fibers of your diaphragm, the muscular fibers, are about 50-50. About half of them are autonomic fibers. They're spindle-shaped fibers. They're not under conscious control. And the other half are like musculoskeletal, like they're voluntary fibers. They're muscle fibers rather than spindles, and they are under voluntary control. So that's why we notice, right? Like as soon as you bring your attention to your breath usually expands because you're using now those voluntary fibers. So you actually are able to take a bigger breath. And then those involuntary fibers, they just, they're innervated when we don't pay attention. Thank goodness, we don't have to constantly pay attention. But when we do, we can really expand the breath. Now, why is that worth doing? The diaphragm, again, just like any muscle in the body, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're not letting it move through its full excursion, then it's going to lose its ability to move through its full excursion. Like that's just all there is to it. So the pranayama techniques that we use in yoga are helping us like really challenge the diaphragm itself. We're getting it to move more through its full excursion, and we're getting it to move at different rates of speed. And we do twisting movements, which kind of wring it out a little bit and then wring it out in the other direction. So it's kind of massaging and challenging, and we're actually using some active inhibition like to really train the diaphragm. So that's some of the effects of the pranayama techniques that we're going to be doing today. Somehow I wrote about 6 pages of notes and I'm not done on the subject, so I'm just skimming the surface here. But I did want to just let you know that like today and Thursday, we're going to be doing a lot of different pranayama techniques. And so far, I've mostly been doing vigorous pranayama techniques with you guys. And I do those ones to help you draw in more oxygen. And it just creates more alertness, it warms the body, it pumps the lymph nodes, and it's preparing you for movement. But we can do pranayama techniques that are very calming. Well, we've done Brahmari. So that is more calming to the nervous system. And we can do pranayama techniques that are, really help you balance rebalance your mental emotional state. Because breath is very related to your state. So if you want to calm yourself down, we can use pranayama techniques for that. If we want to create more alertness, like if you're falling asleep, you can create more alertness and energization through pranayama. And all of these techniques are excellent. We have this, the breath hold test, right, is in the self-assessment. And so that's a 40-second hold. Have you guys tried that yet? It would be good to just test yourself and then at the end, test yourself again and just see what it is like you just take a regular breath and then you exhale the breath and then you see how long you can go before taking another inhalation. So you're basically testing your CO2 tolerance because you're gonna build up CO2 to the point where your body wants you to take an inhalation so it can give off that CO2 and take up some oxygen. But just so you know, like if you train your body to tolerate CO2 better, you actually get better at grabbing oxygen and pulling that into the blood. So it's worth doing a training like that. So today we're going to work with some breath retention. So breath has actually 4 phases. It's inhalation and exhalation, obviously, but there's inhalation, retain the inhalation, exhalation, and retain the exhalation. Okay, so we'll be working with some of that today. Okay, sound good? Okay, I'm not going to touch on all the other points. There are an explanation of the yogic view of breath and what it's doing. That's in the manual, but today we're going to be super practical. Okay, so we're going to start with Kapalabhati breathing. Okay, so if you're familiar with that, you can choose if you have a particular seat you like to do for Kapalabhati. I kind of like to kneel in Kapalabhati. If you would like to try kneeling, and if your knees don't like that, you could stack up your blocks, and that can take pressure off your knees if you want to do it that way. Or if you're perfectly comfortable sitting sort of Japanese sitting style, then please go ahead. And you can also sit in half lotus if that's better for you. Okay, so you guys can choose your seat. Of course, we're gonna lift the heart and lift the crown. If you want, again, this is better if you're experienced. You could touch your middle finger to the floor and then sort of rise up, sort of almost like the sail of a ship here. What the breath is doing is pumping the abdominal wall. Okay, so it's, I didn't talk about nasal breathing. You have to breathe in and out through your nose. There's information about that in my, what I wrote. But it has to be in and out through your nose, you guys. Like in our asana practice, in and out through your nose. I know in like resistance training and stuff, they have you pushing out through the mouth. I would avoid doing that if at all. Train yourself to breathe through your nose. There's way more benefits to nasal breathing as opposed to breathing through your mouth, even just the exhalation through your mouth. You're losing a lot of energy and you're not taking up oxygen as efficiently. And that's because there's chemistry released when you breathe through your nose. Okay? You guys are willing to trust me on that? Okay. All right. So in Kapalabhati, you're breathing and letting your belly swell a little bit, but not a lot. Don't think about it too much. It's really just going to be vacuumed in. When you exhale, you're pumping your abdomen like okay? So let the breath be vacuumed in, keep your belly relaxed, but when you pump, pump it out, okay? You might find that, again, if you haven't had practice at this, it might feel like you go off track. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep a rhythm for you. We're gonna do a bunch of rounds, and then we're gonna do a retention at the end, so stay tuned and try to stay like super conscious for that. All right, heart lifted, crown lifted. Let's take a nice deep breath in, first of all. Just feel your breath, and then we're gonna exhale. Inhale part way, and then pump the belly. Try to stay tall. Your body may want to curl over as you're sitting here and pumping the belly because you're activating your superficial front line, but try to keep your heart lifted, crown lifted. Four, three, two, one. Exhale, 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 exhale completely. Now engage pelvic floor. Inhale. Top the breath, hold it in. Tuck your chin to your throat. And you can hold your breath as long as your body wants to, okay? You might find you can hold quite long. And when you are ready, you just lift your chin and exhale and then breathe normally, but keep your eyes closed. And I don't want to rush you. If you're still holding, yeah, that's great. Just keep holding. When you are finished, keep your eyes closed, lift your chin, and bring your inner gaze toward the frontal lobe. And just sort of observe. So this Kapalabhati means skull shining breath. And so it is partly, a pranayama technique. I mean, it's a breathing technique, but it is also thought to be a cleansing technique, like cleansing the frontal lobe. So if you really need to reset your thought patterns, this is a good technique for that. So we're going to take one more round. We were just holding the inhalation. We're going to hold out the exhalation this time. Okay, so just so you know that's coming. We're sitting tall, our heart is lifted, crown is lifted. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale part way. And pump. Stay tall. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 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 exhale completely. Engage pelvic floor. Tuck your chin to your throat. Now there's no rush at all, but when you are ready, lift the chin and take a deep breath. Keep eyes closed. And once again, just keeping eyes closed, observe the frontal lobe. You may have had, like, on the exhalation retention, sometimes you can feel kind of agitated, a little like stressed. So just so you know, that's pretty normal. But that's where you learn to tolerate that and maintain your equilibrium. Okay. Lovely. Okay, we're going to move out of our sitting position, of that position. Go into your just regular Sukhasana. Feel your entire body now. Smile to yourself and look into this opportunity you have before you. Open yourself up to receive. And you may have come with some particular focus for your practice. You can call that to mind. Hold it into the heart space. And we'll take the mantra Om one time all together. So nice deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Inhale. Beautiful. Let's take our hands to the mat. Uncross the legs. We'll come into table pose. Knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. Root down into the pads of your fingers. And then energize from fingers across palms and wrists and arms into the shoulders as though you're dialing the hands away from each other. Press into the top surfaces of your feet such that you get a little response in the belly. Now we're just doing some simple Marjariyasana. So inhale, send your tail up. Let your belly drop down, heart reaches forward, lift through the crown. Pause right here and we'll take a couple of breaths. So keep pressing into the pads of your fingers and dialing your hands away from each other. Then on top of that, let's start to kind of drag the hands toward the knees. Keep pressing down into the top surfaces of the feet so you get a response in the belly. We're going to take an extra deep breath in here and hold it in. Squeeze the belly. Can you feel the tugging on your diaphragm? Just under the ribs there. Exhale. Beautiful. Press down into the pads of your fingers. Dial your hands away from each other. Now you're going to additionally push your hands forward. Keep pressing into the top surfaces of your feet so you feel a response in the belly. Curl the belly upward. Tuck your chin. Take a nice big breath in. When you exhale, just hold the breath out and be kind of gentle with it. Hold it as long as you can, just observing like your level of comfort with holding breath out. All right, let's breathe freely. Inhale, send your tail up. You can dial hands away from each other and then drag them toward your knees and then exhale. And now let's bring any kind of random extra movement into this that you might want to do. You could sink back as you exhale and then peel up as you inhale, raising your tail and your crown. You can move side to side slightly. Just let your breath flow. All right, let's come into table pose. Tuck your toes. Really work them under so you can get your toe pads down if possible. Dial your hands away from each other. Press into the toes till you feel a response in the belly, and then just lift your knees. Good. Now we're going to walk the feet back just about half a step, and then reach back with your hips and push through your toes to come forward with your shoulders out over your hands. Use your breathing, okay? So you're going to inhale, spring load. Exhale, come over the hands. Good. And then reach, big breath in, and exhale, pull the belly in. Use your toes. Inhale and exhale. Good, one more time. Inhale and exhale, and hold your exhale. Hold it here. Push into the toes. Good. Looking forward slightly. Dial your hands away from each other. Kind of drag your hands towards your toes. Toes towards your hands. And then bring knees down. Untuck your toes. Dial your hands away from each other. Keep reaching your heart forward. And then press back up before you get all the way down. Once again, reach your heart forward. Press back up. Use your breathing. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and stay up. Hold it right here. If you want, you can press into the top surfaces of your feet and also lift your thighs. That's totally up to you. Let's take an extra deep inhale. Hold the inhalation, squeeze the belly. Knees down, hips back, tuck toes, and downward facing dog. Shifting forward, up or push up. Knees down, untuck toes, reach your heart forward, slowly, slowly, down we go. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, downward facing dog. So we're gonna do this as a breath practice now. Downward facing dog. All right, when you shift forward, inhaling, don't inhale like in all one gulp. Slowly, slowly, drag it out. Then you're gonna bring knees down. Exhale slowly, slowly, slowly. When you come up in cobra, slow breath, but big inhale, but slow. Not all at once, like a big gulp. Tuck belly back. Exhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, moving forward. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Knees come down, look forward. Exhale, 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 exhale. Now inhale, 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 inhale. Tuck toes, exhale, 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 exhale. One more time. Forward, inhale, 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 inhale. Knees down, exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, slow, full, keep breathing in, and exhale. And hold it right here. All right. So did you notice like that much concentration on breath? It's effortful, isn't it? So what I want to invite you to is, when we're just breathing ordinarily, and in asana, we're generally using ujjayi breathing, which is where there's like a subtle engagement at the pelvic floor, subtle engagement at the throat, basically channeling the breath through the center of the body. We're trying to breathe more expansively, so deeper, wider, slower. This allows for better, gaseous exchange. You're feeding and fueling your body. So next, when you're ready, looking forward, walking, stepping, or hopping to the front of your mat. Keep your feet about hip distance apart, knees a little bit bent, and we'll rise to half lift. And we'll practice our half lift, okay? Exhale, fold. So practice your half lift as a breathing practice. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale. So you want to think about reaching the pinnacle of half lift with a beautiful curved spine, like, the natural curves, and then letting go down to a pinnacle of letting go here, and then rising back up to a pinnacle half lift. Yeah. And your breath is doing the same thing. So your breath is completely letting go, and then it's completely infilling. Feel your feet. So if you can, do a few more of these, and I want you to see about slight retention at the top, slight retention at the bottom. See if you can just make friends with that space between you've exhaled the breath and you have not taken a new inhale. Can you be okay with that little space? The only thing you're going to find in that space is you. That's where you are. All right. This time, as we fold forward, we're going to stay forward. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. Wrap your arms around the back of the knees if you feel comfortable doing so. It's also fine to just put hands on the outer knees. Our purpose here is so that we can dial our knees outward. So remember, great toes ground, and then the knees dial outward, up against your arms or your hands, whatever you're choosing to use there. Make sure your breath is super full. So one thing, sometimes when people are bending forward like this, they're not breathing enough. So make sure you're really breathing fully, like full inhale, full exhale. All right, so really go into the circuit for one more round. And then we'll release the arms. Let's swing them back and then forward and up, pushing the floor away from you as you rise. And exhale, hands come to Namaskar Mudra. Beautiful. We'll do another pranayama technique. This is an invigorating technique. So one we've been doing where we lift the heels and arms are going over the head. All right, so let's go. Inhale and exhale. So we're pumping lymph nodes here. We're pumping the lymph nodes in our feet as well. And this is very strengthening for your feet, not just for the lymph nodes. Okay, a little bit more inhale, exhale. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Rise up onto your tippy toes. Hold the breath in if you can. Exhale, but stay on your toes. Breathe in and out. Feel into your great toe, the rest of the toe pads, root, and then dial out. Squeeze your heels toward each other. Then bend the knees and hips, heart lifted. Push into your toes. Dial your knees out. Now pull the breath through the inseams of the legs, pelvic floor and lower belly, through a slightly constricted glottis in the throat. Feel your heart is beating rapidly, but you're slowing down your breath. The heart is beating rapidly because it wants more oxygen. So you give it more oxygen with a slower, more expansive breath. This is why your heart rate can return to a normal rate much quicker. All right, we're going to drop the heels, but lift the toes, fall forward, alternate bending and straightening. Wonderful. And then swing your arms back and then forward and up. And exhale. Beautiful. So let's have the feet about hip width apart. Inhale the arms to the sides and overhead, lacing your fingers, and then press your palms to the sky. Ground into your great toes. Make sure your knees are unlocked, and then energize like you're trying to dial the feet and knees away from each other. Dial the thighs away from each other. Squeeze your seat. Feel pubic bone to breastbone. Press through your palms and then energize through your hands like you're trying to pull your hands apart from each other. Now maintain your legs and then tip over to the left side. Press down into your right foot a little bit more and through the heel of right hand a little bit more. You could even pull your right hand away from your left hand. And if your shoulders don't like this position, you could always be here, no problem, okay? It's good to have some pulling action happening though, through the arms and hands. Breathe. Notice pubic bone to breastbone. So it feels like your breath is compressed here, right? So this is like an active inhibition technique. It's like your muscles are holding and you're pushing your breath into them. When we let go, it's going to create a real sense of expansion. So I'll let you feel that in a moment. So really stretch your breath. Make it big. All right, we're going to come up. Let your arms come down. Close your eyes and feel your body. Compare your right side to your left side. Anybody want to say what they notice? It's more spacious. Yeah, for me, it just feels bigger. It's like 3 times bigger on this side now. All right, let's go. Inhale. Push palms to the sky. Knees are unlocked and we're dialing feet and knees away from each other. You can squeeze your butt, pubic bone to breastbone. Pull your fingers apart and we'll tip to the right side now. Pushing down into left foot through the heel of left hand. Pull your left hand away from your right hand. Breathe. So you want to press your breath into the tissue now. Press it into the ribs. Press it into the waist. Press it into the hips. Into the shoulder. All right, let's come up. Arms can float down. Close your eyes, just feel for a moment. Beautiful. Hands come to Namaskar Mudra. Let's be at the front of our mat. Surya Namaskar Asana. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward and down. Breathing through the nose. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or hop back, upper push-up position. Hands could be on blocks, remember. Press down into the pads of your fingers. Dial your hands away from each other. Push into your toes. Feel the response in the belly. Shift your body forward. Lower the knees if you want, or move just through chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now for the breath practice. Inhale, shifting forward. It's inhale, inhale, inhale. Lower, exhale, exhale, exhale. Shift forward and up. Inhale, inhale, inhale. And exhale, exhale, exhale. So I know it's very tempting to gulp your breath in all at once on Little Cobra. So just try to make it slower and extend it. All right, here we go. Inhale, upper push-up. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. One more time. Upper push-up. Lower. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. All right. Hold downward facing dog for a moment. In downward facing dog, dial your hands away from each other and press them forward. Great toes ground. Knees dial away from each other and feet press to the back. Let's practice. Inhale for 3 count, retain for 1. Exhale for 3 count, retain for 1. At the same time, really pressing into hands and feet, uniting the body as one piece. You can feel that epicenter, which is kind of a span. It's not one point. Behind the navel, in front of the spine, and think about 6 inches, 10 centimeters above that area of the solar plexus. One more full round. Good. Looking forward. Take your right foot up behind you and step it between your hands. Back knee is going to come down and we'll bring the hands to the thighs. Good. Ground through your great toe, dial your knee out. Press straight back into the great toe of your left foot. And then if you want, you can straighten the knee. Okay. Now you can keep the knee down, no problem, but we want to have very little weight on this back knee because we're pressing into the feet. So great toe grounds, knee dials out. That helps us tuck this hip back. We're pressing through the toes here. Let your glutes squeeze on this side. Engage pubic bone to breastbone and hands will come. We want to bring the arms back. So thumb side is reaching back. And we want a very strong contraction, back of the hip on the left side. Okay, so hold that contraction and then turn toward the right. Try to bring your right arm to the right as far as you can, and then with your left arm, you're reaching it back behind you. Keep pressing down into right foot and dialing the right knee out. And press straight back into the left foot. Breathe. So I do invite you to try the slow breath, slight retention, slow exhale, slight retention. Head comes around, hands to the mat. And stepping back, downward facing dog. Okay, so you're efforting. That should change your rate of breath. Dial your hands away from each other, push them forward, press into the feet, dial your knees away from each other. Observe, slow down your breath. Take it a little deeper. Raise your left leg up, look forward, and step it through. Back knee will come down for now. Great toe is grounding, knee is dialing out. That helps tuck your hip back, pushing straight back into the toes of your right foot. Use your toes. Okay, if you want, you can push strongly enough to lift the knee. This should really fire up your inseam, pelvic floor, and lower belly. Arms will come. Now really make sure you're squeezing the glutes on this side. That's going to kind of keep your pelvis centered. And then you can turn your torso toward the left. Reach your left arm back as far as you can. You could even think of reaching the back of your left shoulder toward the right hip. Keep your right glutes nice and strong, your right toes pushing. Your left knee is pressing out. Remember, your right arm is going to try to follow you. You want to keep reaching it back. Now, a couple more breaths. Feeling the retention at the top and bottom. Head comes around, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Root into your fingers. Use your toes to shift forward, inhale. Exhale, dialing hands away from each other. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. So you're probably going to need a break occasionally, from the inhale, for 3 count, retain, exhale for 3 count, retain. It is like learning any kind of kinesthetic skill. You're going to fatigue all of the pathways that are creating that pattern for you. But when you feel you can, go back to that. And we'll just keep applying that. It's just kind of next level breath practice, you guys. It's very challenging, just so you know. I am aware it's very challenging. Now, when you do feel ready, you're going to come forward. So looking forward, walking, stepping, or hopping. Extend your spine as you arrive here. Exhale, folding forward. And inhale, rising up all the way. Reach up through your fingers, look up, lean back. And exhale, hands can come to Namaskar Mudra. So we're going to do another great pranayama practice. You guys have all been doing this with me. This is with feet parallel, and we're going to be thumping the chest. Okay, so partly this is also pumping the lymphatics because we're bending knees, the hips bend, we're bending, or we're swinging the arms and bringing them across and bending here. So these are all places where we have lots of lymph nodes. But we're also thumping the chest so that you have a lymphatic organ, the thymus here, that we're stimulating. And Renato was telling me this is also like how warriors would get themselves like pumped up. Thumping the chest, is also like a confidence boost. It's like a reminder of the courage of the heart. So yeah, anything you want to attach courage to is good in my books. So take a big breath here. Inhale and exhale to the right and left. I absolutely love this technique, and I have experimented with eyes closed, and I was very sorry I did so. So I would recommend keeping eyes open, spreading your fingers wide so that you're using your arm lines to control the elbow. But give your chest a good thump. It's all in and out through the nose, remember? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a big breath and hold it right here. Eyes closed if you can. Press down into your feet. Energize like you're dialing the feet and knees away from each other. You do want to let your butt squeeze here. Draw up through the inseams of your legs to pelvic floor and lower belly. Lift your heart, lift your crown. Drop your shoulders. This is kind of where habits show up, where, if you have a habit of activating your neck and lifting the shoulder girdle, let's activate the muscles below that. Let's draw the shoulders down and squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Now feel into your feet. Reach through your crown. Beautiful. Let's take the hands together. Linking the fingers. Pull your hands apart here. Keeping the shoulders dropped. So you want to feel that wrapping around behind the shoulder blades here. And then we're going to spin toward the right. Now press into your left foot slightly more. Dial your left foot out and squeeze your left buttocks firmly. Then activate your right shoulder blade toward your left buttocks behind you. Pull your right hand away from your left hand. So partly we're doing this to maintain a rotation in the thoracic spine. This is also twisting the diaphragm a little bit, but the thorax has to have this freedom of movement in order for you to be able to get your body into good positions where you can breathe more fully. Another great place to press the breath into the tissue. All right, let's bring the head around. Let the arms follow. We're going to switch that up. Drop shoulders, pull hands apart. If you're feeling tired, that's good. Let's turn to the other direction. Pressing down through your right foot, dial it out, squeeze your right buttocks. Squeeze your left shoulder toward the back of your right hip. Pull your left hand away from your right hand. Make sure your shoulders are not drifting up around your ears. Breathe. Bigger breath. Let's bring the head around. Let the body follow, and let's just swing that out, relaxing the shoulders. Wonderful. We begin at the front of the mat once again, hands in Namaskar Mudra. Inhale, arms to the sides and overhead. Exhale, dive your body forward and down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or hop back, upper push-up position. Dial your hands away from each other, lower your type of chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Set up your hands carefully. Dial them away from each other. Stand on left foot, right foot goes up. Inhale. Exhale, knee between the arms. Inhale, 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 leg goes up. Exhale, 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 knee between the arms. Pause. Inhale, 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 pause. Exhale, 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 pause. Keep dialing hands away from each other. Inhale, pause. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Looking forward, step through. Okay, stay low. Your back knee stays lifted. Great toes grounding, knee is dialing out. Try not to rest your torso on your thigh. Push straight back into the toes of your left foot. And this one, you're mostly going to feel the inseam of your leg. So you really want to feel great toe to inseam of the leg. Send your heart forward a little bit more, almost doing a little cobra with your upper back. And then reach your arms back, pressing into the back of your hands and arms. Now, as you press down into your feet, you want to make sure you're lifting your belly slightly. Really good. All right, listen carefully. Right hand is going to come down to shin, ankle, or foot. Drop your left heel, straighten your right knee, Trikonasana. Remember, Trikonasana is a posture that you want to pay attention of where your gaze is pointing. Especially your upper back, which is where your lungs are, is going to be affected by where you place your gaze. If you place your gaze such that your neck and back are pretty neutral, you will have freedom for your breath. But if you're looking down your body, you're going to lose that freedom. You're going to compress and restrict your breath. Press down into your feet, dial them away from each other. So for all of you, if you're looking at the back windows, you should all be looking either at those doors over there, aren't they lovely? Or the front corner of the room maybe, or you could look at the ceiling. Yeah, there you go. Now from where you are right now, can you draw your shoulders back behind you as though you were going to press them up against a wall? Keep your chin slightly tucked. Now take a bigger breath. Beautiful. Left hand's going to come down. Plant the palms and step your right foot back. Just take a moment here. Set up your hands carefully. Prepare. Stand on your right foot. Left foot goes up. Look forward and come forward, bringing your knee between your arms. Retain. Inhale, 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 reach up. Look forward. Exhale, 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 retain. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Final one. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Look forward and step your foot through. Keeping your feet on separate tracks, your back knee stays lifted, great toe grounds, knee dials out. Make sure you're not resting your torso on your thigh. Press into your legs, activate your belly. And then kind of little cobra with your upper back and press back through the arms. Your chin is just a little bit tucked. You're reaching through the crown of your head forward. Press. Now, can you breathe? You know, your inhale, 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 retain. Exhale, 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 retain. Beautiful. We're going to take left hand to shin, ankle, foot, or possibly block. Come down on your right heel. Spin the body open for Trikonasana. Generally, we're always going to think about the feet first, grounding through the great toe, dialing both knees away from each other. In this posture, you would reach your hips toward the back of your mat. And then we want to pay attention to where is my gaze. If you're looking at the back windows, quit it. Okay, you want to be either a straight neutral gaze or slightly elevated here with the chin tucked. In some yoga systems, they would say, look at your upper thumb, which is, really, that's great. You need a lot of neck rotation for that. Now we want to just take a couple breaths, leaning the shoulders back just a little bit more, just like you were leaning up against a wall. Please remember your feet, your legs, your torso, everything. Breathe. Okay. Let's take the hand down. Step your foot back. Lower slowly. Inhale, lift the heart. Lift the belly, exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just pause. So this is a good place, once again, to go into your breath practice or just take a little break here. Remember, you are doing deep work. You may not realize, but this is you could really be poking the bear here. Okay? The breath is, remember, it's partly responsible for your emotional state. So there's definitely, especially those exhalation retentions can make you feel quite vulnerable. It can disturb things. But these are things that need to find a way to be processed by the body. So it's all good. Beautiful. When you feel ready now, we're going to come back to the front of the mat. Extend your spine as you arrive here. Exhale and fold. Inhale, let's come up all the way. Beautiful. And bring hands to heart center. Time for chair breathing. Chair breathing is, it's such a valuable pranayama technique. If you do a few bouts of chair breathing through the day, you probably are not going to experience that 3 p.m. So yeah, it really kind of keeps the lymph flowing, very good circulation, blood is oxygenated, so super beneficial. And the more you do, the easier it gets, to be honest. So let's go inhale and exhale. And you're totally in control of how effortful this is. Just a change of a centimeter more drop or less drop is going to make a really big difference. Four, 3, 2.5, Keep going. So you were counting on me, counting down. All right, I promise I will now. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Now just like welcome the beating of your heart, that rush that you have. Let the breath swell and expand with it. Let's swing the arms back. Let's do a big flush. Inhale and exhale, let it go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Just cleansing in and letting go of anything you don't need. Wonderful. Last one we'll do. Raise the hands up. Lace the fingers, turn your palms to the sky. Let's be at the front of our mat. Ground into your great toe and the rest of your toe pads. Unlock your knees, dial your feet and knees away from each other. Squeeze your seat. Do your seat squeeze a little extra. Push through your palms a little extra. Pull your fingers apart. Start to use your eyes. Slide them up the wall to the ceiling and lean back. Letting your body weight shift into your toes. Keep squeezing your seat. Keep squeezing it more. Keep elevating the heart. Push through your palms. Beautiful. Tuck your chin. Bring the body up. Release the hands. Beautiful. Let's pick up our strap. I personally like to fold it a couple of times. It's a little easier to deal with. These straps are quite long. Lay it across your palm and then turn your palms so the knuckles kind of face each other. And at the same time, you're going to be kind of pulling into the pinky. All right, inhale, raise the arms up. So I just want you to notice, like when your arms are down, let's just compare. Take a really deep breath. And then raise your arms up and take a really deep breath. It gives you more space. Even if you have really healthy shoulders, doing something like hanging from a bar, really exceptionally good for all your breathing muscles. Taking deep breaths there. We're sort of simulating that slightly by pulling on this strap. You can see how it just allows a lot of your breathing muscles and the intercostals as well as the diaphragm to like really go into their full length here. Okay, now you're also going to see how having those muscles be strong helps your balance. So let's shift our body weight into our left foot. Pull on the strap and then pick up your right thigh. Keep pulling on the strap. Can you feel how your upper back is active as you do this? Okay, so hang on to that feeling and then engage pubic bone to breastbone and keep engaging there as you start tilting your body forward. Up to you how far you want to go. Pull on the strap. Feel your back and feel pubic bone to breastbone. And then really let your right leg engage. Good, let's tip our body back up. Pick up your thigh, keep pulling on the strap, it will help you. If you want, you can kick your foot forward. Bring the arms down. Let the foot follow. Beautiful. Shrug out the shoulders. Now, if you found that that really activated your neck, do it with the bent elbows. It should make it a little easier not to activate your neck. But what we're really trying for here is these scapular muscles. So pull on the strap, shift your body weight into your right. Make sure your great toe is pointing straight ahead and your knee is not locked. And then we'll pick up the thigh. When we pick up the thigh, it helps us activate our front body. So really focus, pubic bone to breastbone. As we pull on the strap and press back, we activate the back body. Pulling actions in general activate the back body. So stay strong. Reach behind you. Breathe. Let's bring it through. Picking up your thigh, pull on the strap, feel your back body and pubic bone to breastbone. And then if you want, foot comes forward. Strap comes down, foot will follow. Wonderful. Let's put the strap down. How are you guys doing? Warm today? What the? We're just breathing. Inhale. Exhale, forward and down. Wiggle your feet apart and bring your seat down. Okay, so all of us are working toward great toe straighter and straighter forward, okay? It doesn't have to get super straightforward, but we all want to move in that direction over time, okay? So find your bottom and then just be out of your bottom a little bit. You want to be scooping up into pelvic floor. Now, if you keep your heart lifted here, you'll breathe easier. Yeah. Keep your head up. That's a really nice solution there, Kim. Really good, you guys. Very nice. Now we're going to sit our seats down. Pick up the legs. Great toe edges together. Press them together and enliven the inseams. And then once again, lift the heart, because here, this would be so tempting to be like this, right? We want to free up our breath. So we need to keep lifting the heart. So it would be better to perhaps practice here if you're able to maintain your breathing. There's a functional movement assessment guy, his name is Gray Cook, and he has this saying, like, if you can't breathe in your position, you don't own that position. And I would say, you know, there's similar sayings in yoga. You know, you have to be able to breathe in your posture, or you're not in the posture. And the posture is not some aesthetic. The posture is, it's for the body. It is for the body to explore the breath and move the prana in the body. As I've been saying, we're creating a stronger container for prana, for life force energy. And if we can't breathe, we're not going to have that energy. And if our container's weak, we can't retain that energy. Let's have one more breath here. Let's put the feet down, inhale. Let's just fall forward. Just relax. I know I don't give you much chance to relax. There's so many things to do. Relaxation comes really fully and deeply after, though. Okay. Let's move out. We're going to do a little bit more on our feet. So come back into your squat. Ground down into the great toes. Lift the arches of your feet, dial out. Good. Now, we'll move from here, keep lifting. Wiggle your feet together. You can lift as much as you need and move into toe stand. Great, toes grounding. Your feet can be together or apart. If your great toes are right together, then go ahead and squeeze your thighs together. If they are like hip width apart or wide apart, then I would encourage you to keep dialing out. I mean, even here, we're kind of dialing out as well, squeezing the heels toward each other. Breathe. Now, can we keep pressing down, stay out of your bottom just a little, and then we'll rotate toward the right. Let's come back to center. Press down into your toes, stay centered, and left. Back to center. That's me saving myself. Wonderful. Let's sit back. Raise the feet up. Feel free to straighten the knees this time. I'll tell you a secret. If you start this way, pushing up, you'll probably be able to hold it up. And also, for those of you who find that your psoas catches fire in this position, feel free to use the strap and push your feet into the strap instead. All right, stay strong, lower slowly. Good. Great toe edges together. Peel yourself. Breathe. Hold. Step your feet down. Roll your head down. Tuck your shoulders under your body, your shoulder blades rather. Plant your feet. They don't have to be super close to your seat. Actually, I need to be on the mat here. Make sure your feet are parallel to each other, and you're going to ground through the great toe and dial your feet and knees away from each other. That will already make you want to lift your pelvis, so lift your pelvis, ground into the feet, and then you can start pushing your feet toward the front of your mat, allowing the hips to lift a little bit more. Breathe. Okay, keep pushing with your feet. One more deep breath. And then we're going to slowly bring it down. Pull your knees into your chest. And then we're going to try and launch ourselves forward, okay? So you can roll up and down a couple of times if you want, and launch yourself forward and up. And then we'll come down, and we'll launch ourselves forward and up. Best you can. Okay, so next time you come down, hop your feet back and lie in your belly. Forehead on stacked hands. Right hand on top. Turn your face to face your right elbow. Hand is up against your temporal bone. Okay. Now pick up your hand and your head. It's all stuck together. Pick up your elbow. And you're going to look up past your elbow. Try to lift your elbow. Now engage the left hip and then pick up the left leg. Connect your right arm and shoulder to your left hip, leg, and foot. Excellent, and bring it down. Left hand on top, look left. Pick up your head, lift your elbow up, look up past your elbow, engage your right hip, and then lift up your right leg. Connect your left shoulder and arm to your right hip and leg. And breathe. And let's bring it down. Bend your knees, swim your arms back. Reach back and catch hold of insteps or ankles. Press your feet into your hands. And breathe. Now you're kind of pressing the breath into your mat. Woo-hoo! Yes. All right, let's bring it down. Wow, it's exciting. Okay, let's lift up and press back onto our knees. Stack the hands, or hands can be directly on the mat, or they could be on a block. We're taking Brahmari breath here. Nice deep breath in. Everyone knows Brahmari breath, yes? Yeah. So remember, it's in and out through the nose, and there's no need to make it super long or loud, or it's just your breath, your signature vibration. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Feel the body. Feel your breath. When you feel ready to, let's move onto our seat with legs extended out in front of us. We'll pull the right leg into the body. If you find your pelvis spills back, then I would recommend the beige or the blue box. The beige is kind of nice for this. So sitting up very tall, pelvis erect. We're just going to step the foot across, just keeping it really simple today. Take your left arm, wrap it around the leg, reach back with your right, and then you can let the fingers tent. Now, some very interesting things go on in a twist. So let's sit up really tall, lift up through the heart and lift up through the crown. And now as you breathe, you kind of have a choice. You can use the diaphragm, of course, in either case, but you can kind of focus on bringing the breath more throughout the thorax, pressing it into the upper back and shoulders, or you can focus on descending through the diaphragm in such a way that your belly pushes out, and then you withdraw the belly back when you exhale. So you can decide, like, where do you need the medicine? Where do you hold your tension, for instance? Do you hold it in the upper back and neck? Maybe you want to bring the breath there. Maybe you have, intestinal issues or digestive issues, or you hold your stress in your belly, then let the belly expand and contract as you breathe here. This is really balancing for the chemistry, and it helps all your organs maintain their slide and glide one upon the other. So this is true whether you're breathing sort of above the diaphragm or focusing below. All right, let's bring the head around. Let the body follow, and we'll switch that up. Sitting up nice and tall initially, Then we'll step across, wrap the arm around the leg, reach back, and let your fingers tent. Tune into your spine position, sit up nice and tall, draw the left shoulder back, and then start working with your breath. Like, where do you want to send it? This is also a good place to, you can choose how long or short you want to have the breath, but it's good to retain at top and bottom here as well. Okay, let's bring the head around and allow the body to follow. So we're going to take one more pranayama technique before Shavasana. So you can choose how you want to sit for it. Feel free to be in Sukhasana. Feel free to be, in any position you want. Just know that you're being here for a little bit, so you might want to sit on a block or a bolster. Okay. Yes, it's fine. Yeah. So this is a very relaxing breath. And, it's meant to balance the Ida and Pingala nadis. So you can think of that as just regulating your nervous system, or down-regulating, I should say. Down-regulating the nervous system, bringing you into a more parasympathetic state. So we'll use a pranayama mudra for this. I'm also going to use my right hand, so you're used to me calling this my left, but I'm going to use my right. So it looks like this. If that is awkward, if that is awkward in your hand, feel free to go like this. Okay, no problem. So you can use the pranayama mudra or not. So we're going to be blocking a nostril. So it looks like this. So we'll inhale through both nostrils. Exhale. I'm going to block the right. Inhale left. Block. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block. Exhale left. Inhale right. Block. Exhale left. Okay, keep going. Inhale right. So just so you know, this does not have to be the longest breath ever. Block. And it also you want to have it be quite a quiet breath. So I know a lot of the breath we do in pranayama is noisy, but this one is really quiet. So inhale softly, 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 retain, and exhale right. Inhale right, retain, exhale left. Now inhale left, try not to space out, retain, exhale right. Just be aware of the pattern we've been using. We're just doing one retention here. Inhale through the right. Then we retain. Then we exhale left. Now you carry on your own. Inhaling, retaining, exhaling, okay? Exhale, exhale, exhale. And you can just put your hands on your thighs or on your legs or wherever you like. Observe toward the frontal lobe, eyes closed. Feel right and left side of your body. Observe your inner state. And then as you feel ready, you're going to come down into Shavasana posture. Make yourself comfortable for Shavasana in your usual way. It's nice to let the shoulder blades tuck under the body slightly. Let's, just for a few breaths, put our hands on our belly. And, just in case it's kind of not something that comes naturally to you, let's just let the hands rise on the breath. So, kind of let your diaphragm fully descend. It's not that you're putting air into your belly. You're just letting the diaphragm descend more, and it's kind of pushing the abdominal contents forward a little bit, so they puff out a little bit. So let's go for that, because what that means is that you're pulling air right down to the bottom of your lungs. So let's just do a few like that. This can actually be very, very soothing before sleep. The technique itself might not feel even all that soothing, again, if it's not sort of something that comes naturally to you, but the aftermath, you'll notice it's very restful. And you can do that as long as you want, and then just let yourself rest down into Shavasana. I'll call you back when it's time. Allow some deeper breath to come. I'm just going to read you a little quote from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. When the breath is disturbed, the mind becomes disturbed. By regulation of breath, the mind becomes steady. As long as there is breath in the body, there is life. When breath departs, so does life. Therefore, regulate the breath. And the breath is an expression of vital life force energy. And that has to do with creating health, well-being, equilibrium, intelligence. So worth paying attention to. So as you feel ready, you can stretch your arms out over your head perhaps, or just do some wiggling, or we call pandiculation, these sort of awakening movements. And then come back to your seat. We'll meet together one more time. All right, let's sit tall once again. Heart lifted, crown lifted. Feeling a sense of accomplishment, proud of yourself for showing up on your mat and learning something. Maybe something you'll want to share. And then let's send out a wish, a prayer, an intention for peace, loving kindness, forgiveness, beginning within each of us and spreading to those around us and people everywhere. Let's take the mantra Om and Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for practicing, everyone. Namaste. Namaste to your neighbor. Namaste. Namaste. That's exciting, Kim. Surprised yourself? That's awesome. Any questions? How was that for you? Did you find you were struggling with some of it?
Some of it, for sure.
Holding the exhales, right? It's interesting to observe, like, that woo feeling, right? Yeah. So that's kind of, we're giving ourselves sort of exposure therapy, right? Yeah. So we're easy, we can be in those moments and be okay. Maintain our presence of mind and connection, all of that. Did you have a question, Naomi?
Nope, I was just going to share. I usually work with kids and youth.
Yes.
And sometimes teenagers don't want to do things that are too obvious. So my suggestion when they need a deep breath is to be kind of cool, just like this.
Right. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And then, so it's nice to hear from you that
yes.
It is actually
yeah.
the thing to do.
It is. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun teaching kids and like getting inside their inhibitions. Yeah, it's so fun. We just have different ones, right? As adults. Cool.